Someone asked me, they asked on our Love and Labels page directed towards me, how have I been bonding with Harper because I didn't carry her? And I've gotten this question a lot. So I just remember like Sequina's kind of body moving back and forth. And then it was, you know, it is a smell.
It was?
Yeah.
I wonder why I didn't smell.
And it's nothing that I can describe or say. I don't know. So then next thing I know, I hear, "Are you ready?" Kind of like, get ready to take pictures. So I stand up and I'm just trying to take these pictures and take these pictures.
You missed
and then
the part,
I hear,
what did I say? Oh no.
I'm about to say it.
Okay.
So then Sequina's like, forever, I call her quality control because she's always quality control on my life. Forever. Then she's like, "Are you taking video?" I'm like, "Ma'am, you have a whole lot of baby coming out of you." So then I pressed record. And in this video, I'm very careful about what I watch in this video because I think I got some of her organs and stuff.
I gotta watch the video. It was a really good video. I haven't watched it on the big screen, so I gotta watch it on the big screen.
So anyway, I get Harper coming out. And so then after they pull her out, all of the, and I guess I think they're nurses. I don't want to disrespect it saying who were nurses, who were doctors. I'm not sure. But you have like 5 people cleaning her up. They have her in her little crib. And, the part where, Sequina was like, "Babe," because I'm like, she's beautiful. I'm just taking pictures. And I'm like in their way. And they're like hopping around me because they're probably used to it.
I turned to the side. All I see is Jamil like bouncing here.
I was bouncing and moving because I was like, you know what? I'm going to make Dr. Hudson proud. I'm going to take one good photo at least. So then Sequina says, "I don't hear her crying." And I said, "Well, babe, it's okay. She's fine. She's beautiful." And the next thing we know, we hear her cry. And Sequina had with this one tear roll down her eye. And then they did wrap her up in a little burrito. And then they brought her to Sequina's face where Sequina could just give her a little kiss. And I got those pictures. And then
I made her bring her back again, didn't I?
Yeah, okay, so you kissed her and then you were like, I think you said, I forgot what you said, but yeah, they brought her back and she gave her some more kisses. And then I think someone just asked me like, "You going?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And then they put my bracelet on that would allow me to go in and out the NICU. And I followed Harper to the NICU. And then that's when and then what I didn't get is that after such a crazy experience, so many people are telling you so many things and giving you so much important information. So of course they're like asking me questions. In your home, do you have a bed? What's your highest level of education? What's the mother's highest level of education? Do you have a car seat? Do you have a car seat? Are you on WIC? All a million questions. And so then they start talking about a syndrome that they think that Harper has, which she didn't end up having it. So they were trying to confirm a lot of things, I think for their own curiosity, that did not even end up coming to realization. Yeah, so it was just a lot to go there with Harper. And so then I had to bounce around. So then of course I wanted to stay with Harper the whole time, but I had to check on Sequina, and not to mention her parents are at the hospital and I hadn't checked in on them to let them know what was going on.
So I ended up having to get the emergency C-section at 35 weeks. So that was one of the reasons Harper had to go to the NICU. We knew she was going to have to go to the NICU probably like around 2 weeks prior to my emergency C-section, due to them wanting to check her heart because she was small, because of the pelvic kidney. We kind of already knew. The goal was to get me to 37 weeks at one point, but I ended up doing that 2 weeks early. So Harper was born 5 weeks prior to her due date. So, like Jamila said, which was, you know, amazing on her part, that she had to leave me wide open by myself to go take care of our daughter in the NICU, which, you know, which was strong. I couldn't even imagine being there. And my blood pressure was really high, so I didn't get to see Harper for 24 hours. And when I think about that, like, it always just makes me emotional that I didn't get to see her, like, or hold her or anything. But the next day when I was able to see her, I was one of the first people to hold her. So I was able to hold her, and I sat with her in the NICU like all day long, just looking at her. And, you know, as Jamila said, a lot of the things that they were saying that was going on with her while she was in the womb, it wasn't really true. Like, yes, she was small, but she's gaining weight out of control. Like, she's 10 pounds now. She was born at 4 pounds and 1 ounce. She's 10 pounds now. We went to doctors about the pelvic kidney. Like Jamila said, it is what it is. It's fully functioning. There's no follow-up appointment on that. She's had 2 heart echoes so far, everything normal, and she just has 1 more to go before she's a year old. And we know that, all glory to God that everything is going to continue to come out the same.
I do have to say is if you do have people that are in the hospital, or you do have friends that are on bed rest, for me personally, up until this point, I could never ask people for help. I wasn't the type of person to ask for help. I don't really show emotions. I don't ask for help. I really just am the type of person like, get your shit together and get it done. And that's because that's what I saw. I saw my grandmother doing that, and I saw my mother doing that. That we weren't really complaining people, women. We aren't really, let's talk about our problems, people. We're just like, really get it done. But with that instance, I had to lean on my friends. And I am not the type of person, if you ask me what do I need, I'm going to say nothing. If you tell me, hey, I'm coming by the hospital and I'm bringing you food. Hey, even now, people will be like, hey, I'm coming by, let me hold Harper for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That to me was the biggest help. And I didn't know that because I had friends that had gone through things, illnesses, sickness, whatever, and I would be the type of person like, hey, what do you need? And I would think in my head, I did everything I could because I asked them what they needed. No, it's more of a different, especially I'm talking about if this person's super close to you, I'm on my way. Is this a good time? Mm-hmm. I'm about to be at your house. Are you there? It's a difference because it's hard for me to accept help and it's hard for me to verbalize what I need. But going through this whole thing with Sequina being in the hospital and then Harper being in the NICU, that was the scariest thing I've ever had to do. That was the hardest time in my life and the scariest time, and already dealing with the fact that we are 2 women, so we have to deal with all this other paperwork on top of all of this. And I'm back and forth. Thankfully the hospital was close to our home, but I'm back and forth to the house to take care of Capria. So it was a lot of things that were going on around that time where I needed our friends, and I'm so thankful for our family. I'm so thankful for our foundation, for my mother, because if it was not for them, I wouldn't have not survived. And I'm the type of person, I did the same thing when my grandmother passed away. If you weren't there with me shooting in the gym, you're not going to be there for me now. I don't need anything from you now, because when I did need you, if you weren't there, then it's no hard feelings or anything. It's no love lost. It's just I don't have a need for you
now.
Because my wife was in the hospital, my child was in the hospital, and Sequina was having high blood pressure. They were still really concerned about that. Harper, anyone who's had a NICU baby, it's scary.
It's scary. Even when I seen she had to have a feeding tube, IVs in her arm. She had to have a blood pressure cuff around her foot.
Yeah.
Anytime I wanted to hold her, she was in the NICU for 12 days. So anytime I wanted to hold her, it's all these cords because she's wrapped up to a heart monitor, everything. So, it was just so much. I respect the NICU so much. Mm-hmm. They were awesome in the NICU. They were trying to get us home. At some point, it was at a point where they were no longer concerned with Harper's health. It was just more so her getting the eating under control because she would fall asleep. So she had to prove that she can suck, swallow, and breathe. Mm-hmm. They didn't want us send it home, and then she lose weight and stuff like that.
And then we had to come back.
So they wanted to make sure that once she took the feeding tube out and we were bottle feeding her, so we would go there, we would go for her feedings, we would change her.
And this is
everything.
After we went home.
Right, after we were home.
You were in the hospital 2 days? How long did we stay after you gave birth to Harper?
I gave birth on a Friday.
On a Friday.
Home Monday. But I had been in there since that Tuesday, so I was almost in there for 7 days.
So she was ready to go.
Yes, they knew me up in there. They knew I was the piss patient that didn't want to be in there. They thought it was funny, so everybody knew me. So anyone that has anyone in the NICU, I know your struggles. I know how it is, and I salute you. And if there's anybody that still has children in NICU, we're praying for you. I always will have a love for NICU. If you guys know any NICUs that need donations of anything, any sort, clothes, milk, financial, I'm all for that. Just shoot me a DM, let me know. I actually want to look into finding some type of foundation to eventually support NICUs.
And thankfully, Harper was always breathing on her own from the moment she was born. So of course, when we got there in the NICU, she shared the NICU room with 3 other babies. They, of course, were not breathing on their own. And every day when you walk into that room, it does make you thankful. because you pray for every other baby in the NICU, because if you don't know what strength looks like, a baby who has to learn, they have had not to do anything, so they're now in an environment where they have to learn to breathe and learn to maintain their body temperature and eat and all of this, and that is a different kind of strength. And we were lucky to only live like 15-20 minutes away. We met parents who were driving an hour just to come and see their child every day.
And some moms couldn't make it because they were like me, healing from a C-section. So sometimes they couldn't get up. You know, it's hard for them to walk. So sometimes they couldn't see their baby. And, you know, as Jamila mentioned, Harper was breathing on her own. So basically she was just in a flat bed with a heater above her to keep her body warm. So she wasn't in the incubator. She wasn't on the ventilator. She did have to go under the blue light for jaundice only one day.
And that broke me down.
Yeah, just one day, and they still didn't put her in anything. She just had to wear a mask over her face, and that was just really heartbreaking to see her with the mask over her face. But that was like really 24 hours. At that point, after that, they were kind of like, hey, we're going to get her in a regular crib and, you know, start preparing you guys to get home.
But and I do have to say, you know, strength, I feed off of other women's strength, and I do think that God, I say again, I don't talk about religion or spirituality, but I pray often. I think God sends us people and angels that we need and time. Sequina had, what's her role? Stacy's role?
Oh, the lactician.
Oh my goodness. Like when I tell you what strength that she gave us every time she visited to tell us that we were doing a good job, I mean, that would be exactly what we needed.
Because she would always look at Harper like, why are you guys still here? Like, she's doing good. So every day it made us feel like, okay, we're closer. We're going to go in here today, and they're going to tell us that we're going home. So eventually, maybe like around day 9, they was like, bring in the car seat. We're going to go ahead and start testing Harper for the car seat test. So, and basically they had the speech therapist come in and watch us feed her, watch her breast. I do breastfeed and pump. So they wanted to watch me bottle feed her, watch her latch on, and, you know, just to see if, you know, she can do those things on her own once they sent her home. So after a while, they were basically like, okay, you guys are set. They had us watch some videos to discharge us. And then they had, I forget what it's called, but basically, what's it called when we had to stay there for that day? Room in. So we had the room in. Basically, we spent like 8 hours there with the nurses there, but basically caring for her on our own. If we needed them, they would be there, but they just basically wanted us to get comfortable. And I'm so glad. I think everything happens for a reason. With us being first-time parents, we did learn a lot being in the NICU. Like, I couldn't imagine we learned so much to think that some parents just get their baby and they go home.
That's scary.
And, you know, like, even the time I spent with the lactician every day in the NICU, she helped me be able to develop. I am very blessed to be a milkmaid. You know, I develop a lot of milk. I have a freezer full of milk. I can produce milk for my child at any time. So I'm very, very thankful.
Does she produce it?
So, you know,
everyone in the house could drink milk if she could give some to y'all if y'all needed some.
So Harper's good. So I plan on to continue pumping and stuff for the next 2 months, with also trying to get the stash up so that way she can have an additional 2 months after I stop to have consumed milk.
I do want to say about parents that are in the hospital and NICU parents is that I understand that doctors and nurses know their job. The most difficult thing is that everyone's in rotation. So you do get new nurses and new doctors, and sometimes you have to be on top of it. And I think it was important for me. I already know I'm an intense person. I already know when I talk, it sounds very assertive and aggressive in a way that I don't necessarily mean. But when I met with the nurses every morning, I will be asking questions. Hi, what's her weight? When was the last time she used the bathroom? How much did she feed? How much was left in the feeding tube? I would be asking those questions, and every time they use words that maybe I wasn't familiar with, I would go and look it up and research it myself, so that when I talk to the next nurse, you guys know you're talking to someone who is familiar with what you're talking about. And if I'm not familiar, I'm going to learn about it, and we're going to talk about it and have good discourse, because a lot of them, and it's understandable, they're dealing with their own lives. Your baby is just, I don't want to say just a number, but nurses are dealing typically with multiple babies. Doctors are dealing with a whole lot of babies. You have to be the most knowledgeable one on your baby, because I think that had we not been on top of certain nurses in a certain way, they would have kept Harper in there longer.
Right.
Because Sequina and I are going to notice trends more so than the nurses do. Of course, they have notes, but we're going to listen to things and hear things a little bit longer and a little bit more. So I'd have to be like, oh, well, the other nurse said such and such. And so then the nurse will be like, oh, well, let me go and read her notes. You would hope and you would think that that was fully read before they, checked in and started their shift and started working with your child, but not in all cases it wasn't.
So you have to be an advocate for your kid.
Totally.
You have to be. Even day and age with your kid, period, I think you just have to be an advocate with pediatricians, everybody. So you know your child's health is number one. So you have to stay on these doctors and nurses. Don't let them, if you have a problem, a small issue with like, oh, my baby's having bad gas, don't let them pass you off as this is normal. Every baby has it.
Because you will get passed off.
You need individualized treatment. I need you to look at my child as not a number, that this is right here. I need you to give me, medical advice on our situation, not what all other babies have going on.
And I think the more serious you come and the more respectful always and appreciative always 100%, because we've been blessed with the type of nurses and doctors that we have seen and Harper has seen. But I think it's okay to ask them questions, and it's okay to get a second opinion. Because even in the instance with Harper now, we've made certain choices with one doctor, and then as soon as we got switched to another doctor, another pediatrician, we were sent down another path.
Right.
So you, like Sequina said, you have to be an advocate. You have to do your own research, and you have to follow your own instincts. Because we've been treated like, oh, well, we see X, Y, Z, and been pushed off like, oh, well, that's just things that babies do.
She'll grow out of that and this, and that. So, basically, and I hope you guys really listen to this video. In those 2 parts, and it was a little lengthy, but understand that you're looking at strength right here. My wife and I, and most importantly, Harper. Harper has been through so much from the womb to birth, and we're all here standing in love, living love. Our heart is full. We're super blessed. So this is what strength is. So sometimes you have to understand that although we're a YouTube couple now, a YouTube family, like some things we're not going to share, and sometimes when we're taking a break, it's because we really need a break. Like, we have real life situations, and just give time. Like, we didn't have to share this with you, but I wanted to, but again, we didn't have to. So like, don't feel entitled to know every detail of our life. What we're sharing with you is what we want to share with you and what we can share with you. And I think that at some point, not everyone, there's a lot of people that appreciate it, that always say thank you for sharing your journey, thank you for sharing the portions that you do, because it's hard to get on the camera. Like, it's hard now, so imagine me trying to tell you guys when I was pregnant everything that was going on with Harper. There are people that can do that, but my strength couldn't do that. I couldn't sit there because my focus was on being stress-free, being on bed rest. So, and just to sum back, I was on bed rest from 18 weeks all the way up until 35 weeks. I was not able to go to work or anything. So I was on bed rest the remainder of my pregnancy, labeled as a high-risk pregnancy. So those are the reasons why I didn't get on a camera and feel bubbly to do baby bump updates and things like that. So just only thing I just want you guys to just take a pause and not be so judgmental or feel entitled to YouTube couples, because we all have real life things going on.
And also, it's so hard to share your life on here knowing that you're going to get criticized for anything. I know some people had comments how I was holding Harper, how I was burping Harper. It's hard because you're already dealing with so much. We've become new moms. You know how that is. We're trying to manage our household, manage our life, make sure our daughter's happy and healthy. And then when we do share, when we do find the time to record, figure out what we're going to say, edit it, and then publish it on YouTube, there's a little bit of criticism. But the thing that overwhelmingly, we have so much more support than some of the little negative comments.
Yes.
But it does take a lot to come here and share your life, and the platform isn't to get put down. No, we share our lives to be an inspiration to help those who are going through the same thing, or who are thinking about it, or even those teenagers who are maybe living in a household where their parents aren't accepting their lifestyle, or people who are in a country that doesn't accept their lifestyle. So we're here showing you how we're figuring things out. We don't have the right answers. We're not saying this is how you should and how you shouldn't do it. We're just kind of showing you as we figure it out.
Yep. So, I mean, there's things to keep in mind. I've decided, and I think at this point Jamila agrees, that we're not ready for full-blown the three of us in the camera. You know, you guys will get little glimpse of Harper, but with the commentary and things like that. I just decided that I don't want her to be full throttle on YouTube yet. So maybe down the line, you know, as things change, we would. But there is a lot of commentary, and for us to, you know, not go on a blocking spree or when to clap back on asses.
And wanting to continue to vlog.
Right, to vlog. Sometimes it's like, oh, forget YouTube, because, you know, it turns negative. So I just decided that for right now, it'll be Jamila and I. Sometime, of course, if we're out, it'll be Glimpse, but it's not going to be, here's Harper, this type of deal. Like, you know, the day in the life is on hold right now as well, too. So just right now, we're just putting it on pause, and I hope you guys understand.
I think I did want to answer one question. Someone asked me, they asked on our Love and Labels page directed towards me, how have I been bonding with Harper because I didn't carry her? And I've gotten this question a lot, and I always put it towards just kind of like how a father would bond with their child when they didn't carry, or even when you have a bonus parent or step parent. With Harper, that's my baby. Although I didn't carry Harper, I talked to her every single day when she was in the womb. I was there for her and there when she was born, during her first moments, when she was in the NICU, when we were making decisions from day one. And although I didn't carry her, I helped create her.
Right. And Harper, so they have their own mom. Harper will not go to sleep unless she's with her mama.
So yeah, so we bond because Sequina and I were talking about this. Her and I are just two different parents. I'm very old school, so I have to remember, like, okay, you can't do things like your grandmother did back in the day. Some things you have to like be more modern about. And Sequina, I think, is like the super duper fun parent, and I'm more of like, oh, we need a schedule. But it's certain things that she does with Sequina, and it's certain things that are just me and Harp's moments.
Me and Harp turn up.
Me and Harp, we turn
up. We be like, I'm like the goofy one. I'll dance in front of her for hours.
Super goofy.
Sing to her, like make her laugh. I'm not stopping till I make her laugh.
I'm like, let's read. Let's do some flashcards. Are you sleepy? Come here. Let's take a nap together. We fall asleep together, I think, every night.
They do every night. Like, I don't compete with that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think I do want to do one more video because so many people have asked about how we conceived. That will be a special video because there are some things that we do want to share, because I know, just to be honest, we only shared up to our 4th IUI. We didn't go into the 5th time when we got pregnant. So, you know, there was a change in some things that we did. So we will share that with you guys when we're ready. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy. All negative comments or opinionated comments will be blocked. I just have to be honest about it.
Oh, yeah, because maybe they're not negative. Maybe they're opinionated.
Yeah.
And
like I said,
yeah.
It depends on how I feel. Like, you may tell me, you may say it today and I may be cool with it. Oh, I get it. And then tomorrow I read it and I'm like, oh, well, nobody asked you and you're blocked. So.
And it's unfortunate because we really maybe get one opinionated comment to like 50 really sweet supportive ones, yes. But that one opinionated one will get deleted and blocked.
Yes. So I hope you guys liked the video. Again, this was us being very vulnerable with you guys, and just know that this is like one of the deepest things that a lot of our close friends know we went through, but a lot of our family and friends don't even know the extent of this. So this is us putting it out here to the public, and we hope that it helps somebody. And if you do have a child in the NICU or treading any of these symptoms that I went through from pregnancy on to birth, we are praying for you guys, and just stay strong and know that you're looking at our strength. We got through it. You can get through it, and don't forget the most important thing that we told you guys today, to be an advocate for your child.
Yes.
You are the advocate for your child. All right, guys. Later.
See you later.